everybody, and welcome to another episode of Beyond Instinct. Today I have Leigh Hall with us.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, and I will let Leigh introduce herself.
Yes, so my name is Leigh Hall and my company is Strive for Design Interior Consultants. I've got 4 children, a grandson. I live just outside Cambridge and I have an interior design studio with a showroom that I'm very proud of.
Fantastic. And we've got Leigh on here today because we're going to be talking some more about natural instinct and how that's shown up for people and what it looks like in the world of business mainly. So straight off the bat, Leigh, what would you say your natural instinct is?
My natural instinct is spatial, all linked to design. So it's spatial intuition. I almost get a sense of how the space should look and feel immediately. When the customers are talking, I say, this is what I want. And in my head, I can actually see it. So that's, my spatial instinct. I naturally walk in the room and I get the feel from the customer of what they want and I naturally see it. So that's my
So what you're saying
instinct.
is that if you, as you said, you walk in a room and you're almost like analysing a room straight away, but just naturally doing it. Have you always done that?
No, not always. It started when I was quite young, sort of rearranging my bedroom, and I never really got into design until possibly mid to late 30s, when I thought, I love furniture, I love all the things to do with interiors. So I did an interior design course, and then I fell pregnant again. So it just never sort of came about. And then joining a network group and being asked what category I wanted to be, interior design was the category that kind of fitted what I did. That's how it's kind of exploded, really. And, the more projects I do, the better I get.
The more instinct you get.
Yeah, the more instinct. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and what is it about the instinct of space or how things are that sort of, I don't know, right? So it's hard for me to understand because I've never had that. I've walked into a room and gone, that's nice, or that looks cool. But I'm probably your worst nightmare because my wife will say, let's change the curtains. I'll be like, but they open and shut. I can see you shaking your head.
Yeah.
So what is it that resonates so much with you about that?
Resonates. I think when you walk into a client's house, they're immediately wanting your help and they generally trust what you say, but you need to be able to deliver that. And you have to be a bit honest. But actually, spatial sort of arrangements are really quite easy to be able to do. So with a large, long room, you need to section that off. You can't have it all as part of one room. So you need to be able to section that off. And if you section it off with like a big console table and then put a sofa in front of it. So it's just knowing what looks good and whether that would suit that customer or not. So you immediately look at the space and think, yeah, this is how this should look. You obviously then have to sell that to the customer, but this is how I think this should look, and it has to flow. So you can't have pieces of furniture in the way because you can't walk round, and it has to flow. And so having that sort of instinct is important, I think, with design for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a skill, isn't it? So it's an eye for a space, like somebody would have an eye for a drawing. Really. And I think maybe, as I just said there, maybe it's something that not everybody always thinks about, maybe. But I guess when you're working, we were talking earlier about working with some of your clients and the way a customer would walk into their premises being designed very well versus people have just put whatever they think in there. What's the customer going to be getting off the back of that?
Yeah, so we were talking about this company that I've gone in on a consultancy basis, and because I'm really nosy, wherever I go, I look under plates and think, oh, that's nice, or I'll write that down, and or I might see something on TV, or I'll look on Pinterest or Instagram, and I always take note of everything. So walking into that particular office, it lacked certain things. For their clients who are higher entrepreneurs, they need to know that the owner knows and is trusted. So knowing that they're high entrepreneurs, and then they see, certain objects and a scent we were talking about, I think he's going to work really well for him, really well. And the fact that he loved the ideas was great, absolutely.
Do you think you're reading the people as well as the brand?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Because I guess when you said that a long room, might need a divider in there, if you just put, I don't know, I'm looking at a black cabinet in the middle of it, it would be the piece that you're talking about, but maybe not relevant to the person.
Yeah, but it'd have to be relevant to the design. So.
And you're picking that design up from the person, though,
yeah, yeah,
right?
Yeah, and they'll say, if I said to them, well, you need a console table, or you need to divide it, or you've got a big open space there that you've got an arch, or you've got an opening, you actually need to put doors on there, because you don't actually need that big opening, because it's making the room bigger, but you're not using the space. So it's definitely the client that you have to tap into.
Okay, so from what I'm hearing, I actually think, excuse me if I'm wrong,
no?
I think your technical skill is spatial awareness and how you put things, but your instinct is reading people.
Yeah. I'm good at reading people, yeah.
I think, and obviously I've known you in a sort of networking community basis, and everybody knows Leigh Hall in this area.
Really?
Everybody knows Leigh Hall. And I've never heard anybody say anything bad against you either. So I think that the fact that you use this skill, obviously, or this instinct for your design, that definitely shows up. But I think that your skill is probably actually just reading people, understanding people, picking up on people of what they want. I
agree. And I don't just use it in my business. I use it because I care. I think, I'll sit in a meeting and I'll know there's 2 or 3 people that are not quite themselves. And I will always go up and say, you're not okay today. No, I'm not. So I do pick up on people's, feelings and the way they are. So you're absolutely right, and you've picked up on it today. I do tap into the people.
How do you think you pick that up?
Gosh, I think it's the caring aspect of it all. I think it's the fact that I look a little bit deeper. I don't know how I pick it up. Gut, possibly. Knowing that person's not quite right. And I think being completely aware. So you can have people that just come into the meeting, all they're focused on is what they want, what they want to get. I'm about building relationships and making sure people are okay. It's almost like a wellness thing that's in me. Yeah.
Like a feeling, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. If I know someone's not right, I'll text them. If I don't get to talk to them, I'll say, hey, you okay?
You've done that with me before, actually.
Yeah. I do it a lot. And I think that's possibly why nobody said anything horrible about me, because I haven't got that in me. I'm an honest, kind type of person, and I think that does go a long way.
Yeah, it does. And I think that then tied to the fact that you have an intuition of what somebody might be thinking or feeling, or maybe you're noticing that somebody's usually this and say they're not, as where it could be argued. Some people are going in the room and go, right, today's business, this is what we're doing, this is the agenda, this is this is that. And they've just completely ignored that scenario or not even been aware of it.
Well,
I'd say that there's not everybody that has that skill. So I can completely see how it works within your business, definitely, and within the networking and community environment. I guess my question is there a point that you noticed that you had that skill?
I think I've always been a caring type of person. I've always been a good friend. So probably not really.
Really?
Yeah, probably not. It's just the type of person I am, so you can't... I wouldn't want to be a person that's selfish and, because that just isn't me. So it's a point of where I genuinely just care. And I do that with clients. It's almost like once they're clients, I genuinely care, and I genuinely care what they think, and I genuinely care what they want. So that's why people, I think, kind of buy into me, because I'm not just your run-of-the-mill interior designer. It's a lot more.
I think that it sounds like you connect with them as well. So I know a lot of people can connect, but you connect at maybe a deeper level versus a transactional level. So I think when you were saying, it's interesting because I asked, when did you think that you noticed the intuition, and you went towards, I'm caring. And I think what that's saying to me is that you've cared for people, you're caring for people, that you've actually spent so much time with people wanting the best for them, that you may have learned the traits of when something's not right.
Yeah.
So you've kind of put the time in.
Yeah.
To listen, learn, maybe notice the small tilt of head, this, that, the intuition side. You've probably spent hours with people.
It's like before Christmas, I had a client and I had a intuition that she was going to be a problem. But at the time, I thought, well, I've got nothing on. It's coming up to Christmas. I could do with some money. So I went to see her, and she then asked me to go back. But then she'd been at the doctor's with her daughter, and I immediately thought, well, she's been to the doctor's, she's not well, or whatever. And anyway, I'd sent her a proposal. She was happy with that. I presented it just before Christmas, but was told that her daughter had just come out of hospital. And at the time I should have said, but because I'm nice and because I know they want the job done, I went along. And unfortunately I got pneumonia because the daughter had had bad flu. Anyway, she'd agreed to the proposal. She'd paid half. She'd entered a contract, if you like, and then asked for visuals. And I said, yeah, that's no problem. We can do that, but it's more money. And it wasn't what you had agreed to. Then she refused to pay the balance. So, my gut instinct was, don't work with this woman. And I was completely right. And I just need to maybe not work with people like that, because it just created a problem that I could have avoided.
It sounds like you've got a really high level of intuition for that kind of thing. So here's a question for you. So have you ever had a moment where you've used that, where you've seen your intuition of people play off and you've kind of walked away, and because you've lent into it, so you've said, you okay, is this, that, or whatever the scenario may be, it's actually been quite a benefit off the back of it?
In business, or as in personally?
Personal. I don't know if you would remember one, because it might be natural to you.
No.
I feel that it's created opportunities that maybe if you hadn't have had it, you may not have seen.
No.
But if you're so used to it that maybe that's just normal.
It's just normal, it's natural. I think I invest a lot of time in people and I don't necessarily get that back, but it doesn't bother me. It actually doesn't bother me. As in, as long as they're okay, it's fine. Because if I know they're okay, then it's fine. And if they're not okay, then I need to try and help. So it's almost not only from a wellness point of view, but also from a business point of view, because if I could help somebody and connect them to somebody, then I'm really happy I've done that. It makes me happy.
And that's why everybody knows you.
Yeah, probably.
You've connected most people up.
Yeah, probably.
Brilliant. So is there a time where you've had this intuition, and obviously you just gave an example there, but it hasn't played out as you thought?
Only probably the one that I've just spoken about, that the customer just wasn't right, but I just went along with it, and it didn't work out, and it caused a problem where she wouldn't pay the other half of the consultation and the work that I'd done for her. So probably not just that particular one. I've actually come across clients, and I don't get loads of clients. That this is this type of business. You don't get lots of clients. And I remember having one and actually saying, I don't think this is a good fit for me. I don't like saying that because I don't feel comfortable saying that because I just want to help. But being able to say, actually, this isn't a good fit for me. But the one pre-Christmas was definitely a gut feeling, and it didn't work out, and I should have trusted my gut.
And what was that gut feeling?
Just the way she spoke and what she was saying. She'd run down a previous interior designer, which I did actually look up and thought, well, she's only just started. She probably didn't really have that much knowledge. And so the fact that she was running somebody down, and then the fact that she was chopping and changing, and then she said she was really good at what she's got good vision. And I kind of questioned, why if you've got good vision, why have you got me in, type of thing. And I kind of thought, I don't really like people slating other people. It's like when you go to a hairdresser, oh yeah, your hairdresser before was rubbish, So I didn't really like that. I don't like people dissing people, talking badly of people. So I kind of thought then, actually, is this woman going to be a bit of a problem? Is the fact that, is she going to not be happy with my services? But when I went and presented it at Christmas, just before Christmas, they were elated. They were so happy, more than what they'd expected. They got really good value for money. Wanted to know how the process will work afterwards. So I kind of said, well, this is what we'll do. I'll kind of walk you through the process and you do it at your speed, your time, when you've got the money. They were very, very happy with that. But the immediate time that she wanted something, but wanted it for nothing, and I said, absolutely not, was when it all kind of went wrong. And for me, I just thought, no, I'm not underselling myself here. If you want this service, then you have to pay for it. And to refuse to pay for the work that I'd already done and they'd actually really liked was quite upsetting, really. Yeah.
Yeah, so when you first had the feeling of, I'm not sure if this is right for me, but you went for it anyway. And then you did the delivery and they were elated, really excited.
Yeah.
Did you kind of come away from that and think, were you still sort of coming away going, they're really happy and I kind of didn't expect that? Or what was that?
That was, so they, I'd only met the husband once just to say hello. And we did, I did the presentation with the husband and the wife, and we kind of walked around and this is what I see, and you were talking about this, I've seen this on there. And I said, yeah, that's fine. We'll try and include it in the design. So I came away from that thinking, oh, okay, that was worth it. So maybe she isn't so bad after all. So I felt good because I thought, they're happy with it. Invoiced her. Never got anything over Christmas, which is why I took the job on. And was really disappointed to receive an email saying that she was unhappy with the service when actually she was really happy, both her and her husband. So yeah, it was, and a lot of it sometimes boils down to money, and they just think they can, think they can just get you,
So you've gone from not sure about this client, but I'll take it, to, oh, actually, my gut was wrong.
Yeah.
To then, kind of I told you so, to yourself.
And actually, another networking colleague, before she'd actually joined, rang me up and said to me, I should have rang you before, but I didn't. But I recommended you. And I'd never met Charlotte before, never met her before. And she said, I somehow feel quite bad that I hadn't rung you up and told her, because she said, well, we've had issues with her as well. So I was a bit disappointed, but at the time I needed the money, and sometimes you just have to just work through things. But then to get to Christmas and think, oh, they're related, and actually this is going to be a good project. She's going to do quite a lot. She's going to buy furniture, and she's going to do window dressings, and she's going to do the hallway. I can get some trades involved, and so I think I was feeling quite happy. But to then receive that email, I thought I should have known. I should have said no right at the beginning.
I guess that's just a lesson that you know.
Yeah.
And in life, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
All over, doesn't it?
It is. And I think, unfortunately, when you perhaps need the money at that particular time, you take on something that you probably would never do if you had money in the bank. And it's funny because when you've got money in the bank, your stomach feels different.
Okay.
It does feel different because you haven't got that worry, or you haven't got that think, oh, right, where's the next job coming from? Because this business is very much like that. It's a roller coaster. It's up and down. It's not really consistent.
Do you think it feels different, or the fact you just listen to it more?
Probably listen to it more. Yeah.
Because I think I've had scenarios, maybe not like that, but I've had scenarios where I've taken things in the past and I've literally out loud to the office going, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have sent that quote over. I just feel this is going to go so wrong. And I'd probably say 90% of the time it's all gone very, very wrong.
Yeah, but don't you think, I'm a bit of a believer in like the universe, and, if you wish for something, it could possibly happen. But then don't you think in business, when you have a gut instinct that, should I have sent that quote? Was it too high? Or should I have done that? And then it comes back and it actually is what happens. I'm a bit of a believer in that you kind of think about something that much that it does actually happen.
Yeah, I'm quite a law of attraction person.
Yeah.
I think I come at it from a side of, if you're telling your brain something, your brain's going to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're buying a new car, you see that car everywhere. Yeah. It's like confirmation bias, or whatever it is. So if you're going, oh, that's going to go wrong, your brain is just going to make sure that it finds reasons why that went wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's probably quite a lot into that.
The law of attraction, I'm big believer.
Hard to hold on to some days, though, isn't it?
I know when things really
go bad.
Go bad, not necessarily to me, but in the world, or Yeah. So I just.
My wife always says that. She's like, one day someone's really going to test you with that belief. Because I'm always like, everything happens for a reason. I don't always know why. And at the time, I don't know why. And maybe down the road, I still won't know why. But I always think you have to believe in something. So if you always think the world's against you, then that's not very
the world will be against you
to live.
Yeah.
So I always believe that everything happens for a reason. But as I said, one day I'm going to get served something that is going to be really hard for me to hold on to that belief, I'm sure. But anyway, we digress slightly. So
yes, we have.
We do. I told you they bounce around.
Yeah, I know.
So obviously your natural instinct is the fact of people, and you're obviously very good with people. You're very kind. You can arguably read people quite well. So where has something shown up that isn't your instinct? Where's that not worked?
So probably taking on staff, possibly. Right. So, and one that I took on actually previously, that was a good instinct. She's marvellous. She's fantastic, and she's almost like a mini me.
Right.
Because she cares, and she's got a little bit of, I'm not saying I've got charisma, but she's got that sort of personality. And then somebody that I'd kind of taken on, and I don't necessarily regret that I took her on, because she was really lovely. But she would question me, and I never saw that in her when I first took her on. And I suppose because I'm possibly not a great leader, I'm a nice leader, what we were talking about earlier, I didn't see anything. I didn't see that at all.
You didn't see it, say, like in the interview or the beginning, or you didn't see that all the way to the end?
And I didn't see it until things started to happen.
Right.
And then I saw a pattern.
Right.
And that pattern would always be after spending the weekend with a boyfriend, she would be completely different.
Okay. And what you're saying is that you're sort of, I don't know if intuition let you down. I mean, is that fair?
Probably, yeah.
Because I think I've employed people that I thought were completely different to who they are. But I think you can have quite a good mask on an interview.
Yeah, I don't feel that she was masking anything. I just perhaps think there were other...
And there was zero concerns when you were talking to her, not even like a niggle going...
She's probably different to me.
Right.
Because I kind of like to try and connect with as many people as I possibly can, and not all those people would necessarily be somebody I'd want in my life, or, you know. So you kind of make that decision that you talk more to other people. So employing her it was her skills.
Right.
Her skills were very good, but her...
So you went on skills versus connection. Interesting.
Well,
I think I failed with that many times.
Well,
I think skills are obviously very, very relevant, but we're talking about a small business here, aren't we? So the impact of a personality in a small business is massive. So from that scenario, like if you're employing somebody in the future, I guess, that where would you rate personality and skills now?
they actually have both.
You have to have both. So you need a unicorn, right?
Yeah.
No,
they'd have to have both, because the other employee had both.
Right.
She wasn't probably as technical, but that was because she was very new to what she was doing, whereas the other person was more technical. And so they kind of learnt off each other, really. They did really well in that sense. She had the personality and then eventually technical. And she knew what I was thinking and how I thought that room should look. She knew that. The other person didn't.
Right, because they're technical, but they just didn't gel, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay. But you didn't pick that up at the beginning?
No. I thought I probably needed somebody more technical. I wasn't really worrying about... Do you understand what... I wasn't really worrying. I needed somebody that was very good at that specific role. Organisation, phenomenal. Organisation, she was brilliant at organisation. But personality, she's a lovely girl, but...
Just didn't gel in a small team. Okay. So if you were going to go and do that again, obviously I know you said you're looking for both.
Well...
It's interesting, because I guess if somebody applies, I don't know how they apply, but in a traditional way, you're reading off of you're going skills first, personality second, really, aren't you? Because you're normally going to get a CV first.
No.
So the skills, I guess, will always be there, and then you'll just be using your usual intuition to hire. I mean, if we did a podcast on hire, I think it'd blow up, because I don't think anyone's got the right solution yet.
No.
I think there's personality tests, there's 4-stage interviews, there's taking them bowling is the new one that I've heard. So like if you take a potential employee to a social event, they let their guard down because they're not in the same environment, and therefore you get the real person, and then your intuition can kick off and start analysing them if you like. But yeah, so what have you learned off the back of that you could put in place next time?
I mean, the way I get my connections for maybe put new perspectives, new people working with. I've got somebody at the moment I'm working with, and she was highly recommended from a college that I do a lot of work with. And it was one of her friends. Right. And so she does regular work for me, remotely. I mean, I probably will have to interview, but I think getting to know that person on a more of a subcontractor basis, because that's what we can do in this business. We can subcontract work out. For me, I think would be a better option than just trusting that first interview and actually thinking is this the right person for me? I'd need more than just one interview. Maybe doing that social event, maybe meeting them for lunch, or or meeting them in an environment where I'm meeting friends or whatever, just to sense what they're like is probably a really good idea.
Yeah, because I guess they need to see how they fit into a wider... I mean, employment for me has always been a bit of a kryptonite because you don't get the true person. I always think you're rolling the dice a little bit sometimes. And really what you want is the true person, because you'd rather say no to somebody that's not going to fit for them as well as you. Because if they don't fit, they're going to feel alien to the team anyway.
I'll tell you what I do. I look at their social media. Everybody that's come on board, I've always looked at their social media, because you can sort of tell the type of person they are if they're always posting or they're not really posting a lot. I like to know what that person's going to look like before they turn up for the interview, because I can just...
You're trying to get the reading before they turn up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I did that with the young lady that worked for me. I looked at her social media. She's got a really kind face, and she looks a nice person, and she doesn't post loads, and she's not flash. She's not, putting explicit pictures up, and you kind of get, I think with social media you do get that person, kind of. You
get a view into their purposeful view, I guess. Does that make sense? You get a view into their life of what they want to show people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. She didn't post a lot, but what she posted was, to me, was great, And I knew what she was going to look like before she turned up. So for me, it was a win-win.
Cool. I really appreciate that today, Leigh.
Thank you.
We've just ticked over the sort of 30-minute mark, and we keep these sort of 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you coming in, and thank you very much.
Yeah, it's been great. Thank you.
For everybody else, I've known Leigh for a very, very long time, and everything I've said on here is 100% true. She doesn't have a bad word ever said about her. So I'll tag her in the post, and you can connect with her, and you won't regret it.
Lovely. Thanks very much.
No problem at all. Thank you.
Thank you.